The big marketing shift of 2026, it's not actually new. It's something that has always existed. We just stopped valuing it for a while. And now we are bringing it back. Not because it's trendy, not because someone made a reel about it, but because it actually works. It builds trust, it builds authority, and it builds businesses that actually last. So today I want to talk about the quiet comeback happening in marketing right now and why the people who lean into depth instead of dopamine are going to win this year. Hey, Ring, welcome back to the show. It's Michelle. For the last few years, marketing has felt like this: post more, be everyone, hook harder, edit faster, jump on the trending audio, chase the trend. And listen, short form absolutely had its moment. It was discoverability gold. But here's what happened: everyone started sounding the same. Everyone starting the same, like the same half ideas. Everyone started optimizing for views instead of understanding. And audiences, they got tired. They're scrolling more than ever, but trusting less than ever. That's the shift. That's how the trust recession came about. You cannot build trust in 60 seconds unless somebody already trusts you, right? So here's the distinction most people are missing. Short form builds this visibility, but long form builds belief. And belief, that's what actually converts. If someone watches your 30-second reel and thinks, that's interesting, or, I never thought of it that way, that's awareness. But if someone listens to your 30-minute podcast and thinks like, oh my gosh, I feel like she totally gets me, she's been exactly where I've been, that is trust. And trust creates sales, referrals, higher price tolerance, loyalty, and repeat buyers. Long form content lets people hear your nuances, right? And lets them hear or see how you think. It lets them experience your energy, your integrity, and your depth. And you cannot compress philosophy into 12 seconds. And in 2026, buyers are so much smarter. They're not buying from whoever yells the loudest, right? They're buying from whoever feels the safest and the clearest. So when I say long form, I don't just mean long for the sake of long. I mean intentional depth. So that can look like a 45-minute masterclass or webinar that teaches just one powerful shift. It could be a 20-minute podcast that walks through one belief breakdown. It could be a live workshop where you actually coach on something, right? Or coach somebody. A masterclass that shows how you think. A private podcast series, a deep dive YouTube breakdown. Depth means that you slow down enough to explain the why, not just the what. Depth means that you share that nuance. It means that you let people understand your frameworks, not just your sound bites. And this is where most coaches are scared, right? Because depth requires confidence, clarity, ownership of your thinking, right? You have that intellectual property. Trend chasing hides this insecurity, where depth exposes conviction. Now, let's be clear. Short form is not literally dead, okay? But relying on it as your entire strategy, that part is dying. And here's why. Short form has become entertainment first. But if you are building a serious business, selling transformation, charging premium rates, you cannot build that foundation on entertainment alone, because entertainment builds attention, education builds authority, depth builds that trust, and trust builds revenue. Also, short form content has zero retention. People forget as they're scrolling through, like 5 scrolls later, boop, you're forgotten, right? But when someone attends your 60-minute workshops, they binge listen to 3 podcast episodes, they watch your long form training, you become embedded, you become memorable, and being remembered is more powerful than being seen. So what does this look like practically? Okay. So instead of asking what's trending, ask what do my buyers need to deeply understand, or what beliefs need to be shifted before they actually buy. So instead of how do I go viral, ask yourself, like, how do I build conviction, right? Instead of asking, or how can I say this faster, right? Ask, how can I make this clearer? This is the maturity era of marketing. We are moving from dopamine to depth, from hacks to systems, from constant posting to strategic positioning. And here's the cool part. Long form content compounds. One webinar becomes, right, 10 short clips, 3 emails, 5 posts, maybe even a nurture sequence, or possibly a signature talk. And that depth creates assets. Trends just create noise. All right. Here is your 1% action for today. This week, choose one topic that you've been teaching in fragments on and go deep. Okay. Remember, it's not a reel, it's not a carousel or a hot take. It's like a 20 to 30-minute teaching. And here are some ideas to help you with your long form content. What is hot right now? So what is trending, right? What is the buzzword? What are people talking about in your specific niche? What are people misunderstanding? Like, what are they not getting? What are you like, oh my gosh, everybody is doing this and they need to be doing that, right? What are they misunderstanding? How can you shift that belief? Where are they actually stuck? What is holding them back? What do they think the problem is that they just need to get unstuck, right? To push them a little bit forward. What are they afraid to admit to, right? So I will be fully transparent. Something I'm also afraid to commit to is I'm not always consistent, right? I do admit to it. However, it's like, but I can be, and I know I could do this, right? So what are they afraid to admit? And what belief needs to be shifted? I know I said this twice. However, this is something that really you need to hone in on and understand in order for you to make your marketing better, for them to understand the need and the value to buy your thing. Okay. Teach it like you're speaking to one person who is on the edge of making that decision to buy, right? Talk to them, share the nuance of it, and let people hear how you think. Don't be afraid of making mistakes or, should I speak super professionally or can I speak in slang, right? Don't hold anything back. You are you. People are going to want to do business with you, not your brand. So don't show up other than your natural, authentic self. Okay. So that's the shift, because when you go deeper instead of louder, you don't need as much volume. You need more clarity. That's the 1% conversion effect. Okay. Marketing in 2026 is about being understood, and people don't understand you from the snippets. They understand you from substance. So if you've been feeling exhausted trying to keep up, maybe it's not that you need to do more. Maybe you just need to go deeper. I appreciate you so much for being here with me today. And I look so forward to going on this journey with you. As always, thank you for taking me along for the ride. Keeping leaning into those tiny tweaks and stacking those 1% wins. Until next time, let's grow your business together.